In this very short video, I want to show you a very simple diagram that will help a lot of people, especially the new ones, not new people, but new to C++. But it'll help you understand the way C++ is operating. And this is out there all over the internet in a bunch of different forms, but I just wanted to include it here to help you if you're new to this idea of working totally out of code. Because for most of us, nowadays, we start off learning coding in something like VB.net or something, and we're using visual windows and forms and so forth. So we've got this main function here, and this is going to be the starting place of our C++ program. Now, in this instance, I'm creating an application that's going to be used by a veterinarian. So people bring their cats and dogs and what other weird pets they have, like snakes and spiders, in, and we're going to treat them. Well, the program that we're going to be running to do that is a C++ program, and you'll notice that it has a main function. Don't worry about this integer designation right here, but got a main function, and the first thing that you see here is that when we fire up the program, it's going to jump into main and then begin to work its way down and take care of the code that we have. Well, the first thing it's going to do is find this function here called TCB, because the first thing we need to do is take care of business. And this is a little Elvis Presley lingo here, but we're going to take care of business. So when someone walks in carrying their little dog, the first thing we need to do is find out some information about this client, about the animal, and so we're going to call the TCB function. Now, somewhere out there in our code, outside of the main function, we have created another function, and this one, notice it has void in front of it. We will talk about that later in a separate video. But this function is called TCB, and you'll notice it has its own braces. We'll talk about those later. And we've got a little comment here telling us that we're going to put some code in here to locate or input client and animal information. We want to know who the clients are because they're going to pay the bill. We want to know who the animal is so that we can keep records on them. And so this particular function will take care of that. And then notice return. Once our code finishes running, it completes, we're going to return control of the program back into the main function, and then we move down to the next one. And the next function that it sees is treat. Program figures out, hey, wait a minute, that's calling another separate function. So it goes out and finds that one, and we're going to provide care. And from our standpoint, some functionality would happen here for us to record what we did to the dog. We gave it a shot, we put a splint on it, took care of something that's swollen, or just whatever we're doing. Maybe it's just a checkup, okay, if you get checkups for your dog, I don't know. So anyway, once that happens, and we would write code inside this treat function, it would return control back to the integer main function, and then it would jump down to the bill function. And this is the good part as far as we're concerned, right? For our business, that is. I mean, we care about the animals, but we need the money also. So there is a bill function that's been written, okay? And notice we're going to bill the client, we're going to create an invoice, we're going to collect money, and we're going to make a record of that, whatever's going on, and then that will return information back into the main function, and then the main function will complete and it will return a 0. Now, where is it returning this information to? Well, this is going back to the operating system that's running this C++ program. Got a lot of options there, don't worry about it right now. But that's the bottom line. Now keep in mind, inside any of these functions that popped up out here, TCB, treat, or bill, I could have had a call right here to another function, okay? Because if I want to print an invoice, I could have had a call to a function called print invoice, and it would have jumped out to functionality that causes something to print. So what you're going to have basically are leapfrogging from one location to another, from one function to another, taking care of whatever actions we need to have taken care of. So that's just a real quick diagram of how the program's going to run. And always, when you're looking at C++, find main, and that's where it's going to start. It's going to jump right into this function, this main function, and then it's going to start working its way down. All right? It's going to leave the main function, do some things, get passed back in, and just keep doing that. Okay? So that's just a real simple diagram of how your C++ program is going to actually be carried out.